When someone asks you a question in English, does this happen to your brain? First, German, then you translate. And what happens? Panic, then English. And before you answer, the conversation is already gone. If this happens to you or it's happening to you, your English is not bad. There are just a few things you need to do to stop translating in your head all the time before you respond. And when this change takes place, speaking English becomes faster for you, listening becomes easier, and conversations become real. Welcome to Surpass All. Today, we are talking about how Germans can stop translating in their heads and start thinking in English naturally. Let's start by talking about why translation destroys fluency. Translation is normal. When you are learning a foreign language, it's very normal that you translate. But over-translation before speaking, especially in real conversation, is too slow. It slows that conversation. So imagine you are in a conversation with someone and the person says something. First, you process it in German. Then, you search for English. And what happens next? You check grammar. And after checking grammar, you worry about mistakes. And before you respond, the person talking to you is already on the second sentence. That's why I say translation, over-translation or over-translating is too slow for real conversation. Take this example. Let's say someone asks you, how was your weekend? And you go like, wie war mein Wochenende? Translation. What is Ausruhen again in English? And then you remember, that person is waiting. And after all the thoughts, you still end up saying one word, good. What happens? You wasted time, and before you even say good, the person is on the next sentence. So, fluent speakers do not translate, over-translate in their brains. They connect English to meaning. So here's what you need to do if you really want to be fluent. Have the concept of images and not translation. So if you hear a word like coffee, try and have an image of a cup of coffee in your mind. What you need to avoid is having coffee, then cafe, before you have the image. This really slows the conversation. So try having images. If someone says, let's go for pizza, have a pizza in your mind. Have a picture of a pizza. Or if another person told you, we went swimming, just have an image of a swimming pool in your mind. Stop doing swim bad. Before you respond, it's too late. So if you really want to be fluent, don't over-translate. Have these images, which is something that everyone can do. If you decide to connect to images than over-translating, you can do that. Let's try this exercise. Say words like flower, pizza, dog, cat, plants, bag. Did you picture this? Good. That means you can do this without translating. Each time you say any of these words, you have a picture of them. So you can really do it without translating. The truth is that You are already doing this without realizing, which means your brain can do this. Why? Because you already say things like bye, goodbye, hello, WhatsApp, Netflix. You say these things without translating them in your mind. So, what you need to do is just to expand. Do this with more vocabulary. Do this with more words or more phrases. It's going to make things really easier for you. Did you translate WhatsApp? No. Did you over translate hello? No. You said it. Did you translate bye or goodbye? Did you say goodbye? Auf Wiedersehen? No. You heard bye and you know it's bye. You could picture a wave. So do this. Just expand this with more phrases or more words because you are able to do it. Now let's look at these 3 mistakes which German learners of English make, which hinder you from learning English or speaking English really fluently. The first one is building sentences in German first during a conversation before speaking. Secondly, being over-obsessed over grammar. And the last one is trying to translate every word before you continue speaking. So let's begin with the first one, which is building sentences in German first. Imagine that you're having a conversation with someone. Then you start by forming a question in your brain. Maybe, isst du jeden Tag? Clear. You will end up saying, eat you every day. But if you remember that questions are asked differently in English, the structure is different. You have question words and you have a different format, a different structure in asking questions. So instead of doing eat you every day, if you learned how to ask questions, especially in simple present tense, you know you need the word do. This is a help verb. You need do. Do you eat every day? So this is what you learned and this is what you hear every day. So do not build these sentences or questions in your brain first. Just ask the way you learned it. You cannot translate it directly. So ask with, do you eat every day? Does she eat every day? Then remember that you have idioms. You cannot translate idioms directly. Okay, there are some that you can translate, but not everything. It's raining cats and dogs. That's something you can translate in German. But come to think of others, it's worth cooking. It's worth the price. There's no way you can translate it directly from German to English. Another one is something like, I'm looking forward to meeting you next time. You start in German. Ich freue mich auf unsere Treffen. Oh, I'm looking forward to our meeting. Let me say so. Ich freue mich auf unsere Treffen. And you want to translate it directly to English. This is what you end up doing. I am happy me for our meeting. You know, it doesn't make sense at this point. So what you learned in school or in your first English lessons, you learned, I'm looking forward to our meeting. I remember last time I was talking with someone and she really asked me for direct translation. So she said, hey, this means ich schaue forward. Yes, it's almost the same thing. But I am looking forward simply means, ich freue mich auf unsere nächste Treffen. I'm looking forward to our next meeting. So learn some of these phrases the way they are, because you can't translate everything directly. And how can you learn this if you hadn't learned it before? How can you learn this now? This is what you need to do. Listen to podcasts. Listen to audios. Most of your books have audios. Listen to native speakers. Listen to news. Read short stories and just learn some of these phrases the way they are. Let's look at a second point, which is obsessing over perfect grammar. Yes, grammar is good. You need to understand grammar. You need to understand, let me start with tenses. You need to understand the tenses very well so that there will not be any kind of misinformation or misunderstanding. But don't be over obsessed over grammar. English is not grammar, it's communication. When you're learning a language, it's all about communication. Think about native speakers. They interrupt one another. They speak fast. Native speakers make mistakes. They interrupt themselves. They change sentences. Sometimes they start with passive sentences. They move to active. They change sentences. And they use informal language. So learn English in a way that you can communicate with people at any level. What's important is communication. So you give an information and you want to be very sure that you are being understood. Okay, German is very structured and has a lot of grammar rules. English has rules too, but there's a lot of freedom in English. And one thing you need to know is that English speakers make mistakes. I teach English, but there are times that we have to do our research right there in class. We all do the research together, or we have to go home and do that. Do not forget that we have slangs, we have informal English, we have different phrases or different words for the same thing from different native speakers. So don't overthink grammar when you speak. Just be sure that whatever you are saying or whatever information you want to give out is well understood. Concentrate on communication and not perfect grammar. Grammar is good, but it's not the most important thing. The third one is translating unknown words immediately. Oh yes. When you are listening to a foreign language and you hear a word that you've never heard before, you get confused. You focus more on that word than on that conversation. So if you are talking with someone, if you're having a conversation and you hear a word that you do not understand, just be patient. Listen to the conversation maybe to the end and see what you understand. If you still have questions, you can ask. Most of those words will finally explain themselves in that context. And even if you do not understand that particular sentence, you can still leave it till the end. And then you ask follow-up questions. Come back to that word and ask, did you mean by using this word? Maybe that person can explain. If not, take note of the word and then refer it later. We are not trying to maybe minimize vocabulary or grammar. No, it is important. But as you keep learning, you will have more vocabulary. You will understand grammar better. But are you going to wait until you know all the words? No. No. You will notice that every time you read a new book in English, you find new words, even native speakers. They refer words. Sometimes they understand these words from context. So don't be stuck when you hear any word that is new. Don't concentrate on that word. Go on with the conversation and you can finally ask what it means or quickly refer this word. So what I'm saying is that you do not need 100% understanding. What you need is communication and connection. Can you understand what they are saying? Can they understand you? That is it. Now let's get to the real deal. How to train your brain to think in English. We have 3 exercises. So the first exercise is the no German rule. No translation. So this is what you are going to do. Describe your kitchen. Use only words, but remember not to use any German word. What do you do? Cooker or stove? Microwave? Chair? What else do you have in your kitchen? Oven? Table? Knife? Fork? And that's it. Just start like this. Make sure you do not translate in your brain, please. Just mention these words and say them really loud. Start with 5, then move to 10. Then the next day, go to your bedroom. Describe your bedroom. This time, use more than one word. You could say black bag, pink bedsheet, white wardrobe, etc. Try this. Exercise 2, micro thinking. When you get up in the morning or during the day, try to think in English. Think, I'm tired. Think, this is so expensive. Think, this is very comfortable. Think, wow, this is good. Just have these thoughts in English. They are tiny thoughts, but guess what? Big transformation. This is how you begin. Oh, I forgot one thing. Journal in English. Try journaling in English. I don't know where I read this, but I've been doing it in German and it really helps me. Sometimes I think I know certain things or I could really write them. But when I started journaling, I realized that I learned a lot, especially concerning sentence structure while journaling. It could be your grateful messages or your to-do list or just about your day. When do you journal? Do you journal in the morning or in the evening? Start it quite simple. I'm grateful for today. I had a nice meal this morning. I met a good friend and we spoke about lots of things. Oh, this person made me happy. She gave me a good gift, exactly what I needed. Wow, I spoke with my neighbor Mary after a very long time and she was happy. And I'm really, really thankful for that. Don't translate. Just try it, maybe 5, 6 phrases or sentences. And before you know it, you build your confidence. You speak English without translating in German in your brain. And why? Because you think in English. You think in the language that you are learning. Just like I said before, these are tiny things, but the transformation is huge. Exercise 3, watch short clips without subtitles. Okay, when you are a beginner, it's okay that you watch movies with subtitles. But the more you get deeper into the language, just watch short clips without subtitles. Subtitles make your brain lazy to understand. So if you have a short clip, maybe for about 20 seconds, just hold on, ask yourself, did I understand anything? What did I understand? What is it all about? Where is it? Who are they talking about? Focus on context and emotions, not on missing words and not on every word that you do not understand or on grammar. No. We had this discussion today. So we had a few people who said they understand better when they use subtitles, but majority understand without subtitles. You just need to start training yourself to understand movies, clips, or videos without subtitles. Don't be lazy. Please go deeper and understand in context. Okay, so did you try this exercise? How was it? Send me a DM and tell me if you feel more confident or if you speak faster, if you understand more when others speak or when native speakers speak, and if the conversations are gradually getting real. Before I get into something else, or before we conclude, I would like to say also learn patterns, learn phrases, and not just words. Learn phrases. Fluency is built from phrases or patterns than just words and translation. So please let me know in my DM if there is any improvement or if you have any more questions or tips. If you tried and you had any difficulties, let me know. There is more for you. More tips, more ideas. I understand you very well. I'm learning a foreign language and I know exactly how it feels when you have to translate everything. I translate sometimes in 4 different languages. That's what I used to do before. If you said something in German, I will have it in different languages in my mind before I process it in so many languages. I would say 3 or 4 languages because I speak 3 languages clearly and 2 extra languages that I still search for words sometimes. So it didn't bring anything. It just made me more quiet, more stuck because I spent time translating, trying to build the sentences in different languages, and it delayed my speaking. It delayed my conversation. All I could do was smile or laugh, but contribute? No way. So don't fall in that trap. Think in English, speak in English, and get better every day and improve while you speak. Don't translate every word in your brain. So the next time someone asks you, how was your weekend? Forget the old method. Go straight to, I had a good rest. I cooked. I watched a very, very nice movie on Netflix. And I went out with my friends. We had a very delicious steak. Take this with you. Your goal is not perfect English. Your goal is good communication and connection. So the moment you stop over-translating everything in German in your brain, English will start feeling like real conversation. It will stop feeling like a subject or any kind of pressure and start feeling like communication, connection. And imagine how much joy there is in connecting with people all over the world with just this one language that you are working on. I know you've learned something. So what you need to do is simply like, share, subscribe, because there will be more tips for you. And there's always someone out there who also needs these tips. Think about any friend or colleague who is learning English just like you and still translating in German in their brains before speaking, and send his video to them.